Oh, Sasha, hey there, how's it going? I bet that you're looking pretty pregnant right about now, aren't you?
Hey there, Donna. Yes, I'd say I've gotten pretty big now. The baby bump is certainly noticeable. For anyone with eyes, really.
Well, I heard that you were really nervous about how you were going to raise the child. I even heard that you were asking your mother-in-law for help or any tips that she might be able to give you.
That is very true. I did go to her and ask for some help with this. I mean, this is my first child after all, so I just feel like there are going to be so many things that I don't know. But thankfully, Linda listened to all of my worries and was very good at calming me down and making me feel better.
I see. Well, yeah, I guess that she would be pretty good at that, considering the fact that she's been a mom for decades now. But you could have also come to me and asked for advice too. I'm also a mom, don't you know? Besides, we're basically like sisters, so there's no need to feel embarrassed about asking for a little friend's advice, right? I mean, after all, I'm your brother-in-law's wife. We're basically family, don't you think?
I really do appreciate you offering to help me when I'm nervous, Donna. But I actually really just happened to be visiting Linda when I asked her. It wasn't like I went out of my way to ask her advice specifically.
Wait, hold on a second. Just how often are you meeting with Linda?
Well, I guess pretty often now that I think about it. I mean, you know how easily sick I get, right? Well, she actually comes over to my house pretty often to help me keep the place clean and running. And so I guess we do actually end up spending quite a bit of time together like that and just talk about whatever is on our minds.
Is she coming over to your place because of how often you get sick? Doesn't that make you worried about your pregnancy at all? I mean, are you worried that your condition might affect the baby or something?
Yes, of course I'm nervous about that. I get so worried about my baby. So, I have done all I can to follow the doctor's advice as close as possible in trying to do this the right way.
Wow, I see. I guess I never knew just how fragile your body really was. I mean, you know that I've had 5 kids by this point, right? I never had any problems with a single one of them. They all just popped right out.
See, I really think that's incredible if I can be honest with you. I mean, not only did you go through pregnancy 5 times, but now that your husband has been living away for business, you're raising all 5 of them by yourself. I really just have to come out and tell you that I have nothing but respect for being able to do all of that. I'm really not sure if I could handle it.
I guess you are right about that. I am pretty great now that I think about it, aren't I? Besides, you know all the news about people having less kids, right? I just figure that I'm doing my part to make up the difference is all. Which reminds me, I meant to ask you, just how many kids do you think you and your husband are going to have in the end?
Oh, well, for now, we're just thinking of having 1 kid. I don't think we'd want any more than that. And of course, there's my physical health to be worried about as well.
Wait, what? Are you serious? You're really only thinking of having 1 kid? But that's crazy talk.
Is it really that bad? I mean, did you even know that you were going to want 5 kids before you had them all?
Oh, well, I suppose when you put it that way then now. I didn't really expect this. I always thought that I would only be having a couple of kids. But then all of a sudden I got pregnant a 3rd time, and before you knew it, I had 5 kids.
So then after the 2nd kid, the ones after that just sort of came along?
Basically, yes. It wasn't that I didn't want to have them, but by the time I got pregnant, I figured, what the heck? Why not go through with it?
Wow, that is just... I really don't know if I could do something like that, you know?
Really? Is it that big of a deal? Just what is it about having a kid that makes you so nervous? You know that you can ask me anything you want about the process. I've gone through it quite a bit at this point.
I guess I'm just kind of worried about what I'll do when I go back to work and don't see my kid until I come home. And about how much money I should be putting away for them for their future. And then, of course, there are all kinds of insurance things to worry about. I guess really when it all boils down to it, most of what I'm worried about is money. How do you do it with 5 kids, if you don't mind my asking? I mean, no offense, but I can't imagine that it's cheap to raise so many little people, right?
Yeah, it isn't cheap for sure. That's why I don't really bother with any of those funds or savings or putting away things for the future.
Oh, really? You mean you haven't really thought ahead for any of your children at all?
I just think that parenting should be an unplanned and spontaneous kind of thing that gets decided right then and there. I don't really see the point in worrying about something that might not even end up happening in the future, you know?
Well, I guess that makes some sense. But what happens if there is some kind of emergency where you need funds right away? You really can never know what's going to happen, especially with that many children, right?
Nah, it really is all fine. I mean, kids go out and play, and They get hurt and then they get better. I just let them raise themselves, basically.
I see. Well, what about college? Do you ever think of that? Or what if one of your kids needs special tutoring or has some expensive camp or activity that they want to try doing?
Meh, I think kids find ways to entertain themselves, you know? You don't need to get them anything too fancy. And as for college, I really don't see what you need that for. I mean, the state says you're an adult at 18, so I think my children should be able to take care of themselves by then. They'll be old enough.
You really think that your children are going to be ready to live on their own right when they turn 18?
Yeah, of course. I mean, they would have basically been raised taking care of themselves, so it'll be an easy transition, really. I guess I'm really just a kind of go-with-the-flow person who really doesn't try to get upset when it comes to raising my kids. Does that make any sense?
So you really don't get mad at your kids for anything? Don't you think there are some things that are maybe worth getting upset at your children for? I mean, how do you teach them that they've done something wrong if they can't see that you're upset?
I don't really think it's my job as their parent to do all that stuff. I think our main job is just to have the kids, and after that, they're on their own. I mean, why else do I pay taxes for schools if not so they can raise my children for me, right? Besides, I don't really see any laws saying that it's my job to do anything more than feed and clothe them, really.
Sure, but I mean, okay. Well, do your kids study well in school?
I would have to say no, given some of the report cards that I've seen. And I never ever see them doing any homework either.
So then, don't their teachers at school get mad at them for not doing their work?
No, I don't really think their teachers get mad at them for anything. I mean, who even cares about homework, really? You know what I mean? Did you know that in other countries, they don't even have homework? Everyone knows that it's just busy work to keep children preoccupied anyways. So I just let my kids play and enjoy their life instead.
So then, if one of your kids did come to you and say that they wanted to go to college, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that they are free to make that choice if that's what they want. And then I would tell them to get a job and start saving up for it, because it isn't going to be cheap.
I see. I guess I just always thought it was parents' jobs to try and give their children as many opportunities as possible. So rather than just letting them run around doing whatever they want, you can help guide them towards a future they would want.
Hold on a second. Just what are you trying to say here? Are you trying to imply that I don't care about what happens to my kids?
No, of course not. But it just seems to me that maybe there's not a lot of planning when it comes to them. I mean, you said yourself that you don't save any money for them.
And just who do you think you are to be telling me how I should be raising my kids, huh? I mean, you haven't even had any kids. I don't remember ever asking advice from you anyways. Where do you get off trying to critique how I raise my family?
I'm really sorry, Donna. I didn't mean to upset you or anything like that. I guess I'm just realizing that we have very different outlooks on life. But you've given me a lot to think about, and I really do appreciate that. So thank you for talking to me about all of this. Hey, Donna, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that your kids are all at my house. Do you have any idea what this is about? I don't really remember you saying anything about them coming over.
What are you talking about? Of course I told you that they were going to go over and stay with you for a bit. I'm giving you a little taste of parenthood before you have to deal with the real thing.
I'm sorry, what? I feel like I'm not quite following along. Are you really serious about that?
Well, you were the one who came to me, so worried about being a parent, remember? So I just thought that I'd give you a little taste is all.
I see, but having to take care of all 5 of your children isn't going to make me any less worried about having my own. Besides, taking care of 5 kids all of a sudden is way too much for me. Can you please just come and get them?
Oh, please. What are we talking about? This is going to be a walk in the park for you. After all, you were confident enough about everything to not even come to me for advice first, right?
But the last time that you and I talked about parenting, you just got really mad at me.
Well, that's because you were completely ignoring the advice I was giving you. So since you're that confident, why don't you prove to everyone that you're as good a parent as you say?
I never really said I was a good parent or a bad parent. I'm really sorry if that's what you got from our talk. All I was saying was that I think our views are maybe a little too different from our parents' styles to really have much overlap.
But you don't even have a parenting style yet. Besides, you were acting like you know what was best for my children. So why don't you go on and take care of them and prove that to me then? And if you do a good job, then I won't ever try and tell you how to raise a child ever again.
I'm sorry, but I really don't think I need to go through any of this just to please you.
Are you forgetting who you are in this family? I'll remind you that I'm married to your husband's older brother. That puts me in charge of you, and you have no right to tell me no when I ask you to do these things. Now you are going to watch my children, and that is that. It's only going to be for a few days anyway.
Hold on a second. You're going to leave all 5 of your kids here for a few days?
Well, yes, they're all on summer break, and I told you that I don't sign them up for camps. But I have to go and put them somewhere. So I thought this would be the perfect plan.
No, you can't do this. I mean, my husband just left for a business trip and I'm at home all by myself.
Oh, yes. I know all about that. That's why I chose today to send them over.
But there won't be a moment of peace and quiet around here the whole time that they are here. I told you that I need to keep myself calm so that I don't overexhaust myself while pregnant.
Oh, please. You just want everyone to treat you with kid gloves just because you're pregnant. Well, I'm telling you that I've done it 5 times and I never asked anything of anyone. You should be thankful that I'm giving you this chance before you have a child of your own.
Please, Donna, I seriously just won't be able to do this. They are making a huge mess of the house already. Some of your kids are throwing our belongings all over the place. Shouldn't they know better than to do this to someone else's house?
Well, you know that kids will be kids, right? I mean, they're just having a little fun is all. This just goes to show that you need more experience raising them, so you can start to learn with my kids. Oh, Sasha, I just wanted to check on you since it's been a few days. How are things going for you? Shall I come over and pick them up?
You weren't even at home this whole time, were you? I tried calling you a bunch of times, but you weren't picking up.
Well, I figured since I finally had the house to myself that I would take a little vacation with some friends. I had a lovely time. It was just the break I needed from being such a busy mom.
So you left your children at someone else's house so that you could take a trip with your friends? Well, I hope you had fun.
Well, when you're a hardworking mom like me, sometimes you just need a break. I'm sure you'll find out about all that eventually. But anyways, I'm just glad that we're both able to give each other an important experience like this. I hope you enjoyed taking care of my children while I was away.
No, actually, I'm afraid I had to give up on that rather early. It was just doing a number on my body and I couldn't handle all the craziness going on in my house.
Wait a second. So you're telling me that you didn't watch my kids?
That's exactly what I'm telling you right now, yes.
But, wait, what? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Where are my kids then? What did you do with them, huh?
Well, I took your kids to go stay with their Grandma Linda, of course. I told you that I just couldn't handle them here.
You sent all of my kids to go be with our mother-in-law? Why would you do that?
Because I called her and told her what was going on and that I couldn't handle dealing with all your kids. Then Linda said that she would take care of them for me.
You've got to be kidding me. So you're telling me that for the past few days all of my kids have been with Linda and not you?
That's right. I just knew that I had to send them away since I was pregnant. But I've heard that they were also acting up terribly in front of Linda as well. They even broke several glass things, tore up the carpets, and even destroyed some art in her house.
Did my kids really do all of that? I had no idea at all.
Well, I think even Linda tried to be patient with them at first, but ended up having to call in her husband for help. You did know that Frank used to be a drill sergeant in the military, right? Anyways, I guess the 2 of them got angry with your children and tried to set them right.
Oh no, this is really bad. This wasn't supposed to happen. I have to go and pick up my children right now.
Yeah, I suppose Linda and Frank are probably wondering whose fault it is that their grandchildren are like that. You 3 will probably have plenty to talk about when you get there.
But why would they think that it's all my fault? Were you talking poorly about me to them or something?
Oh, I didn't have to do anything of the sort. I think that they figured out just whose fault it is all on their own. After all, why else would all your kids be running around as if they had never even heard of the word manners? But you didn't care about that either way. You just wanted to take your trip, which I was also sure to tell Linda about.
How could you do this to me? I just wanted to give you a chance at raising some kids. I was trying to be friendly.
Is that really what you call being friends? Because it certainly didn't seem that way to me. And I have to say that I didn't learn anything from that experience either. You just dropped off your kids without warning and expected me to be your free babysitter. Well, I heard from Linda that she told you to never talk to her again. I was also talking to my husband, and he said that we should probably keep our distance as well.
But then That's the whole family. They're all against me now. I can't believe this is happening to me.
Yeah, it sounds like Linda and Frank were really furious with you. I mean, did you even apologize to them?
Of course I apologized to them. The moment they opened the door when I arrived to get my kids, I said I was sorry. But you should have seen the way Linda was looking at me. Her eyes were so cold, and you could tell she was blaming everything on me.
I even heard that Linda called your husband and told him all about what had happened.
It's true, and no, he's not going to be coming back from his business trip this weekend. But he said that he's going to go and stay with his parents for a while.
So I guess if you want to see him, you'll have to deal with all three of them lecturing you, huh? Although I hope you understand how you did this to yourself. Your husband went away on that trip hoping that he could count on you to take care of your family, and you just let the kids do whatever you want.
Shut up! You don't know what it's like to deal with 5 kids. You don't know what I've been through.
Well, whatever it was that you have been through, I hope you at least managed to release some stress while you were on your vacation.
Oh, just stop it already, will you? Did you know that I might get divorced because of you? I even hear that I might lose custody of my children.
Well, who knows? Maybe that might be the best. I mean, someone has to teach those children to behave. Not only that, but those kids need someone who is going to think about their future and make sure they have opportunities when they grow up.
But I gave my children all the opportunities they can have to do whatever they want. How is that any different from what someone else would do?
You know, I thought I respected you because of how many kids you had. I thought that surely you were having them responsibly and making sure to take care of them all. But now I understand that you have got to be one of the worst mothers I have ever seen. I mean, you hardly even do any parenting at all. But at least it sounds like we won't have to be dealing with you for very much longer. Whatever happens, though, I just hope that your children get the chances at a good life that you might have taken from them.
No, this isn't fair. I thought that we were friends. We're sister-in-laws. You can't just do this to me. You can't just leave me like this, please. I don't have anyone else on my side. I need you right now. Can't you see that?
After that, Donna settled down a bit and her texts were much less gloaty than before. Although it didn't change how Linda and Frank about her one bit. After her husband returned from his business trip that had kept them apart, he went to go and stay with his parents to find out about what happened. Donna went over there one day to talk to all three of them, and they decided there that a divorce was in order. Donna tried to protest, but she knew that she wasn't really going to get anywhere. After that, Donna's husband was granted custody of the children, and they all lived with Linda and Frank. I hear that all three of them are being very active in making sure that the children straighten up and fly right. As for Donna, after the divorce, she had to sell her house and move into a much smaller apartment, where she lives all by herself. I can't imagine the grief she must be feeling as a mother, but I wouldn't want my children raised by someone like her. So it's hard for me to truly empathize. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.